God desires you as His followers to stand in dramatic opposition to how the world around you is living life. Our world is largely me-focused rather than God-focused. Hi, I'm your coach Nick Orduna, and I want us to take a look at Daniel and how he was unshakable to the end. Daniel, a key figure in the Old Testament, stands as a powerful example of unwavering faithfulness and spiritual integrity. Taken from his homeland as a young man during the Babylonian exile, Daniel faced immediate pressure to conform to a foreign culture, including its food, religion, and values. Despite this, Daniel purposed in his heart not to defile himself with the king's food or wine in Daniel 1:8. This decision, made in his youth, set the tone for a lifetime of godly convictions. He relied on prayer, wisdom, and courage, and God honored his faithfulness by granting him favor, knowledge, and influence. Daniel's commitment was tested repeatedly. In Daniel chapter 2, he interpreted King Nebuchadnezzar's dream when none of the wise men could. Rather than take credit, Daniel praised God as the source of all wisdom and power. This humility and dependence on God characterized his life. Later, when faced with the fiery furnace and the lion's den, both he and his companions remained faithful, confident that God could deliver them, but determined to obey him regardless of the outcome. As Daniel aged, his integrity never wavered. Under successive kings and empires, from Babylon to Persia, he maintained a high-ranking position, not because of compromise, but because of his consistent excellence and trustworthiness. In Daniel 6, when jealous officials manipulated King Darius into signing a decree that made prayer to anyone but the king illegal, Daniel continued his habit of praying 3 times a day with his windows wide open. His routine of spiritual discipline, built over a lifetime, enabled him to face even death in the lion's den without fear or faltering. Daniel's life teaches that faithfulness is not a one-time act, but a lifelong commitment. From his youth through his old age, he modeled spiritual discipline, courage in the face of persecution, and a steadfast trust in God. His example calls believers to live with integrity and boldness, regardless of external pressures. Every day, you get a little closer to the finish line, but you're not there yet, and you want to finish strong. So how do you do that? When you find yourself facing discouragement, difficulty, or distress, don't run and don't stand alone. Develop a plan for dealing with it. Rally some friends and lean into these 3 incredible resources: your faith in God, prayer, and your Christian community. Here's some great truths from God's Word that you can cling to. Deuteronomy 31:6 says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not fear or be in dread of them, for it is the Lord your God who goes with you. He will not leave you or forsake you." This verse, which encouraged Israel at the time, encourages us today to be bold and brave, not to fear our adversaries, because God is with us and will never abandon us. Philippians 4:6 states, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God." This verse encourages believers to address their worries and concerns with God through prayer and petition and gratitude. It emphasizes the importance of trusting in God's provision and care for all aspects of life. Daniel and his friends were totally tuned in to the one true God they loved, trusted, and served. And because of that God focus, they related differently, thought differently, and acted differently than the world around them. Daniel exhibited great courage as they were swept up in the ravages of war, and he continued to keep his focus on God, loving with excellence and integrity, lives that changed the history across kingdoms and centuries. So here's your challenge for today. Be like Daniel. Don't wait for the pressure to hit. Start building your spiritual habits now. Who will you pray with this week? Who can you encourage to stand strong with you? Make a move today that strengthens your faith for tomorrow. Join me again next time as we look at the life and lessons we learn from one of the most tragic figures in the Bible, Judas Iscariot. See you then.